I'm a man to my word. Bear with me a minute. Cheers. To those of you that see potential in me, to those of you that understand me for who I really am, and not for how the world attempts to portray me to be like everybody else. If you have any doubts, concerns, or general inquiries for that matter, you're welcome to approach me and stop me at any given time, and I will halt what I'm doing to give you that time. Because I am beginning to now realise who were genuinely on my side and who have intentions, bad motives, agendas, games, and only God knows what else. In other words, I can spiritually discern those who genuinely have my heart, my soul, and my mind at interest, and those that just want to toy with them for their own sick gratifications. And little did they know, it's only going to come back to them, weight over. In other words, it's going to come back to them however many folds over, and it's going to weigh in on them up to the point where they are crushed, defeated, and all the more miserable and hateful of who they really are. Not this guy, even if I do come across as emotionally unavailable. A lot of the time, in here, that couldn't be any further from the truth. Because despite this emotional unavailability, I operate entirely different. Or should I say, I operate entirely differently to the lost sheep of this world, that basically believe everything that they are told. Oh, the world is going to end in 15 minutes if you don't have sex with 250,000 women or men. Oh God, oh no. Then I must do exactly what the world tells me. Boom! Morons, fools, idiots, cretins, degenerates. In other words, I can see through all of that. Doesn't interest me. And like I said, I value authenticity within people. Even childlike, people within adults that are going by the biblical manuscript and not off the world's understanding as to who they should be. In other words, they're still a child in here and in here. They're born again. But they're going the right way about it, I admire adults like this. And I can work with adults like this. Especially if they're wanting to age, grow, and evolve, I can work with that. Because they're taking themselves seriously. Even if they're able to joke and laugh, about their shortcomings and failures, which I am to some extent, I can work with that also. It's just those that are kindergartens that are unwilling to go inside of here and in here, put in the work, kick old habits, shift old behavioural patterns, and avoid their worldly programmed self that always comes attempting to reattach itself back. In other words, those that are going by the Bible and the presence of the Lord, you're real, you're authentic, childlike or no childlike. And I can work with that. Because you're not being immature, you're not being disrespectful and disgraceful of one's presence. And I find that admirable even. I find it attractive, to some extent. And I could genuinely and honestly work with it. But on a whole, kindergartens that are intellectually immature, underdeveloped, and abuse their own free will, convincing themselves that it's of their own. I can't work with those type of people. And if that offends you, I don't give a shit. You're the one creating the problem, not me. Therefore, cracking, go for it. Rage out if you have to. I don't care. I really don't care, I don't. I'm past caring about, people that don't even care about me, I do, however, care about those that make the effort. And I also care, to some extent, about those on a whole that are willing to work with me despite my own battles, my own struggles, rather than contribute, kick my ass to the curb once they've played and toyed with me, Escaping the Matrix, it's not an easy task. Not an easy task at all. And just when you've overcome something else is going to throw itself at you. And you just got to brush your shoulders off and go, do you know what? I don't care. I don't care. There's no truth to any of these attachments, nor projections that people try to throw onto me. And I'm now shielding myself via the Holy Spirit bubble. And these fiery darts, on the other hand, they're only going to deflect and hit those that have projected them in the first place. It's great, isn't it? It is great. And there we have it, folks. And there we have it. Before I wrap this video up, like I said, I am true to my word. And if you do have if you have any doubts, any concerns, or general inquiries about the connection that you may believe that you have with me, don't shy away. Come forward. Especially if you're a realist and you're not trying to put on a front, nor an act. You're just being your real self. Like I said, I find that admirable within people, and you are bound to get my undivided attention. Because two realists are actually, in fact, attracting themselves because it's not forced. Do you see where I'm going with this? In other words, the connections aren't forced. This is where many people go wrong. They force their connections. They have all of this satanic baggage and then expect to, attract us anointed, us chosen, with all their hidden intentions, motives and agendas. No, I don't think so. Unconditional love and forgiveness, along with grace, mercy, and all of these other things, isn't the equivalent to unconditional tolerance and acceptance of degenerative and moronic behaviour. And people are going to learn a valuable lesson when I do what I do best. Ghost and reject, ghost and reject, ghost and reject, ghost and reject. Until the right people come along, Because just like everybody else, I'm a ghost. going to come across as corny, but I am genuinely a ghost. I'm a vessel. I'm a temple. And what people think, a lot of the time, they see me as the person that the world chose for me to be. In other words, this identity, what you see physically here, it's not really who I am. And people, like I said, soon enough, within God's divine timing, will see me for the real me, you know. Because I'm a spiritual being. I have a soul. I'm not physical. And it's just like this physical body. I couldn't care less, you know, if I got hit by a bus and I died. Physically, I'd die. But yet my soul gets to live on. I'll most probably come back and rile, you know, the devil's playground up, as you will, and go to war with some of the strongest and some of the finest sent by God. Real talk. And there you have it. Stay hydrated, be safe. And like I said, be a realist. It's the only way you're going to get my undivided attention. Don't try to put on a front or an act. Don't even try to be someone you're not. Because a lot of the time, depending on how sharp I am in here and in here, within that given moment, I can tear through all of that. I can see through it. It's smoke and mirrors. It is BS. And I can guarantee any of you watching this video, you're not going to get my attention by being a fake. It is what it is. You might get one words here and there. That's all you're getting. And a lot of the time, you don't even get that. Like I said, be real. Be authentic. Be the way that the gospel created you to be. Be the way that God created you to be. Whether it be, like I said, a child in here and in here, looking to grow and evolve, or whether you're a soul aging like a fine wine, it doesn't matter. Be who God created you to be, and not how the world wants you to be. Otherwise, if you believe everything that this satanic system convinces you to believe in, every one of you watching this video, you're going to be miserable. Every single time. And all of your fake happiness, your fake joy, as you will, it's short-lived. Because you put it in external factors. You put it within connections with fake people. Whereas a realist, on the other hand, we have detachments. Like, we can connect with people, and depending on the person, determines whether we are compatible with one another, or whether I detach. It is what it is. There's no fooling this guy, you know. And like I said, in comparison to some of the finest, you know, intellects out there that are switched on in there and in there, you know, and aren't intellectually underdeveloped, you know, they see through God's kingdom, you know, rather than their own imaginations. sharp people. We need more of them. It's the same with common sense, knowledge, wisdom and logic. We need more of that. And a piece of advice before I wrap this video up goes to myself sometimes as well. In order to change the world, we first must become the change. In other words, how can anyone expect to change the world and all for the greater good if they can't change themselves by renewing their mind and transforming their heart? And you're not going to renew your mind and transform your heart by following the word's voice over the gospel truth. And I'm beginning to realise that and understand it well. And you know you're on the right path, like I said, when you can actually live alone and embrace your own company, love your own company. Classical music, peace of mind, of heart. What more could a man possibly want? Heaven, right there, you know.